If you have a solid value proposition, that is less of a threat. Yes, you will lose some people who are price shopping to your competitors. Let your competitors have them because, again, those individuals probably are not going to bring in profitable revenue to the business. You cannot lower your prices and compete on price as a small business owner. It is a losing proposition because you'll just drive yourself out of business over time. You won't, because your costs of doing business keep going up and up and up. So if you keep cutting prices and cutting prices, you're going to cut yourself right out of business in doing that.
You work hard in your business. On the Profit by Design podcast, we ask the big question. What has your business done for you lately? Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling. I'm the business psychologist, the author of the 4-Week Vacation and the How to Hire the Best series, as well as the founder of Tap the Potential, where we coach entrepreneurs like you to design sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. Because after all, we believe work supports life, not the other way around. Weekly on the Profit by Design podcast, we bring you tips, tools, and strategies from our own experiences and from the experiences of our guests who are entrepreneurial thought leaders and real life entrepreneurs, all to support you in making intentionally profitable and sustainable business decisions to live the lifestyle you desire.
When was the last time you increased prices? And does it strike fear in your heart as you think about it's the time of the year that we really need to be considering price increases, and having those conversations with your clients and customers feels really uncomfortable? Well, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling. I'm the business psychologist here at Tap the Potential. And I'm also the author of the How to Hire the Best series and the 4-Week Vacation. And one of the things that we find ourselves talking with our clients about over and over and over is price increases and the importance of being strategic when you do a price increase so that you're not having to make repeated price increases. If you are in a place where you feel like you've been losing profitability and like you see the revenue going up in the business, but your owner's pay and profit is not going up, there's a good chance that you have expense creep happening in your business. And one way to address that is a price increase. So we're going to dive in today, and I want to talk to you about how to know when you need to do a price increase and when you shouldn't increase your prices. I'm also going to talk with you about how to determine the amount of the price increase, plus how to talk to your clients. I'm going to give you the language to talk to your clients about the price increase. And this is where so many business owners get it wrong when you roll out price increases, and it does create a lot of pushback. So as we dive in, I want to just share with you, we have something really great cooking for you in 2024. Most small business owners start planning their growth, and a lot of times growth feels like it means more of your time and you making a bigger sacrifice. But the truth is, you probably already feel burnt out and like your business has taken over your life. So in the past year, if you've done any of the following because your business needed you, if you worked on family vacation, if you missed a kid's sporting event, you said no to family dinners, you told yourself you'll start on one of your dreams next year when you have more time, you've regularly skipped workouts, you've been sleeping less than 6 hours a night, and all of that is happening because of the business, then you need to be signed up for our Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart in January 2024. We're going to talk with you in this Jumpstart around creating a growth plan for 2024 that delivers. This is a 5-day workshop, and you're going to understand how to design your business to be sustainably profitable. I'm going to walk you through calculating the profit potential in your business so that you can plan for profit in 2024 and the years ahead. We're also going to dive into how to simplify your business so you can discover the profit that's hiding in plain sight in your business. And you're going to see a clear path to grow from there. And we're also going to be diving into identifying your unique value. And big hint, that pertains to price increases. So it ties right into what we're talking about today. So if you could charge more and free up more of your time through identifying your unique value, you're going to be able to attract top quality clients and customers in doing that. And you're going to be more profitable, which is important because you need to be able to hire team members as you grow. And that's a big piece, is growing without you having to work harder. So in the Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart, you're going to come away with your $10,000 an hour activities that are going to help you free up your time, regain your sanity in 2024, and grow your business. So head on over to tapthepotential.com/jumpstart and get signed up. What are you waiting for? All right, so let's dive in and talk about these price increases and what makes these so hard for us as business owners. You know, I totally get it. I have raised prices at Tap the Potential almost every year that we've been in business. And every time I do it, so that's like 17 or 18 years. Every time I do it, I have that little catch in my chest of like, oh my gosh, what are our clients going to say? How are people going to react to that? So there's the fear of losing business. And I want to address that right off the top, because every time I have raised prices, I've lost business. It happens. The reality is, though, is what will happen is your best clients will stay with you. They will appreciate that you needed to increase their prices because you've been delivering value for them. And the ones who fall off tend to be the ones who are not aligned with the sweet spot in some form or fashion. And it really, what it does when you lose those clients is it frees up your time. And if you're honest with yourself, a lot of times those clients have needed more of your attention and have not been able to work effectively with your team members. So that's a big red flag, because that keeps you from being able to scale the business and grow it without you working more. So some of those clients will drop off. But also the clients who are very price sensitive and who are nickel and diming you on every transaction. And because of that, it's quite possible that they cost you more to serve them than they have brought in as revenue into the business. So yes, you will lose clients and customers, but most likely the ones that you lose are the ones who were not bringing in profitable revenue for you to begin with. And there will be a handful who were really great clients, and it's going to be hard to say goodbye to them. But what happens when you do an appropriate price increase is that you can increase your margin so that your owner's pay and profit goes up, even as you end up serving fewer clients and customers. And that's a big deal, because that's a part of freeing up your time and your team's time. And when you're able to free up some time, you're able to have more time to focus on, well, how do we add more value to our very best clients and customers? And so it creates very positive momentum in the business to do a price increase. Now, I'm not talking about a 1% to 2% price increase, because that's not going to get you very far. I'm talking about a price increase that's very well thought out. And so before I go there as to how to figure out what level of price increase to do, I also want to talk about another fear, and that is price competition. Feeling like you are going to lose people to your competitors who charge less when you do a price increase. And again, if you have a solid value proposition, that is less of a threat. Yes, you will lose some people who are price shopping to your competitors. Let your competitors have them, because again, those individuals probably are not going to bring in profitable revenue to the business. You cannot lower your prices and compete on price as a small business owner. It is a losing proposition, because you'll just drive yourself out of business over time. You won't, because you know your costs of doing business keep going up and up and up. So if you keep cutting prices and cutting prices, you're going to cut yourself right out of business in doing that. So if you're worried about losing people to competitors, this is the greatest opportunity to really work on knowing your unique value proposition and articulating that effectively over and over in your marketplace. And when I say over and over, like, you really and your team really need to feel like broken records out there talking about what makes you guys unique and different, because that's how the message gets out there. And that's how you develop that reputation as the guy or the gal hotel who, or the company who does these particular things for clients and customers. And I'm going to tell you, in today's age, so much marketing, it's not personal anymore. It's all digital, and people just are really craving that human connection and human touch. And so part of your unique value proposition, being a small business owner, is that you have the opportunity to be up close and personal with your clients and customers, and they value that so, so very much. So don't forget to include that as part of your unique value proposition. So one of the best ways to be solid as you deliver price increases is to go through the identification process of your sweet spot. And this is step 2 in the Tap the Potential solution, niching down with a clearly defined sweet spot. And so when we teach this, and by the way, we're going to teach this in depth in the Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart in January. So be sure you're getting signed up for that, where we show you how to identify who are your top 20% clients that are responsible for 80% of the revenue. So it's the 80% of clients who are only responsible for 20% of the revenue. Those are the ones that you're likely to lose when you do a price increase. But remember, they're only responsible for 20% of the revenue, and that's probably not profitable revenue anyway. So in the Jumpstart, we show you how to identify these clients. And one of the things to be aware of is that it's not just about the clients who bring in the most revenue. You can have clients that pay you a huge amount to do something very specific for them, but they may be your most difficult clients. They may take a lot of your time, and they may pull you off of serving clients who are just one step below in terms of revenue, but who really define the sweet spot of the business. So be very careful. It's not just about revenue. And in the Jumpstart, we really dive into some of that. So when you are aware of who the top 20% of your clients are, then you want to interview them, right? We call these the wish list interviews at Tap the Potential. And it's great to interview them. And we have some very specific questions that we give you that guide you in getting truthful information. Because a lot of times when you're having a one-to-one conversation with clients and customers, they want to say things that'll please you, because people fall into people pleasing all the time. And that's not going to be very helpful to you. What we're really trying to suss out in these interviews is, how do your top clients see you as unique and different from your competition? And what language are they saying about you? What words are they using as they talk about you? And that becomes part of how you, number one, identify your sweet spot and what makes you very unique in the marketplace. Because a lot of times we business owners get in our heads around that, and we say, well, I think my sweet spot is, and I think my clients and customers value this or that. And Dr. Sabrina's rule of thumb is, if you say, I think, then I know you don't know because you haven't heard it from your top clients. I want to hear you say, my clients say, our clients say XYZ, and then I know you know. Then I know you've heard it from your top clients. And it's really important to get their perspective on how they see you as unique and different, because that's what you're going to use as you develop your unique value and support. It's what supports your price increases. So big hint, one of the things I said at the beginning of the episode is how not to deliver a price increase. So the key thing you don't want to say when you deliver a price increase is, well, our expenses have gone up, so we're increasing your prices. For a client to hear that, that's not exciting at all. That doesn't make them happy. That makes them say, well, yeah, gee, I kind of understand, so I guess I'll pay more. Yeah, so that's what you don't want to say. What you want to say is, we have really paid attention to your needs, and we're looking at enhancing this part of the business and bringing you this. And here's what we've added in the last 6 months to support you, and identify the value of those different things. And a lot of that comes from these wish list interviews, because your top clients are telling you what they value the most. And they're also telling you what they wish you would be doing for them. And so part of increasing prices is creating the opportunity for you to do some of the things that you haven't been able to get around to doing to serve your top clients better and better. And here's a really cool little mathematical calculation for you, especially if you're afraid of raising prices and you're afraid of losing customers. So if you drop 80% of your clients and customers who are only responsible for the 20% of revenue, if you were to drop all of them, if you raised your prices and 80% of your clients and customers went away, and they were the ones that were only responsible for the 20% of your revenue, if you just focused on increasing the value from your top clients, the top 20%, so that you were able to justify a 25% price increase, you would still bring in the same amount of revenue with fewer clients, right? That's the key. So the revenue wouldn't change at all. Now, that's very pie in the sky. I wouldn't suggest to you that you drop your 80% of clients who are only responsible for 20% of the revenue and then go to your top clients and say, guess what? We're going to do a 25% price increase. That's not going to go well. But if you add more value, and I always look at the 3-to-1 return on investment, like what could you be doing for your top clients and customers that is delivering a 3-to-1 return on their investment? When you're able to do that, then you're able to raise prices because you know the value is there and you're able to articulate to your top clients and customers that the value is there in doing this. It's the holiday season, and we have a gift for you. We'd love to gift you with a signed copy of my book, The 4-Week Vacation, the entrepreneur's ultimate guide to taking your life back from your business. It's a great read about the small steps forward you can take to take your life back, and it's chock full of business advice for how to set your team up for success as you delegate. It is a must read this holiday season. To get your copy, take our Better Business, Better Life assessment at tapthepotential.com/assessment. Not only will you receive my book, The 4-Week Vacation, in the mail, you'll also have the opportunity to receive your personalized list of $10,000 activities based on the results of your assessment. Cheers. So one of the pieces that I said I was going to talk about today is when not to increase your prices. There are definitely times in the business when you shouldn't increase your prices. And if you are aware that your service delivery is just not up to par, it's not well systematized, there are mistakes being made, maybe you have some warm body team members that you've had a lot of complaints from your clients and customers around, that's not a time to increase prices. You really want to do the work internally on the business before increasing prices. So pay attention to that. But at the same time, it's very easy to get into that position if you haven't done appropriate price increases all along. So a lot of times when small business owners come into our Better Business, Better Life program at Tap the Potential, and I ask them, and they're struggling with profitability, and I say, when's the last time you increased prices? Well, we did a small price increase about 2 years ago, and then we got some pushback, so I haven't done it again. So that's not a good spot to be in. You really want to get into a rhythm of once a year evaluating price increases. And for the most part, you should be increasing your prices every year, assuming you and your team are getting better and better, right? So if you're listening to the Profit by Design podcast, you're showing up in our Jumpstart, you're in our coaching program, I'm confident you're one of those business owners that's working on making things better and better. There's plenty of business owners out there that are just surviving, not doing things, not seeking out learning and looking at ways to improve. And those business owners shouldn't be doing price increases because realistically, things are not getting better for their clients and customers. But you guys are here, you're listening to this, so I'm pretty confident you're looking for ways always to do things better and better and serve your clients better and better. And so every year you need to be looking at a price increase, maybe sometimes more frequently. So like we saw huge price increases during COVID. And if you didn't keep up with that, your business quickly lost profitability. So there's certainly times and events going on in the world where we sometimes need to look more frequently than once a year at a price increase, but at least on a minimum once a year. And what you need to consider when you're doing a price increase, or a sign that you need to do a price increase, is that sales have gone up, but your profit is not going up. Your owner's pay is not going up. And it feels like it's just more and more expensive to run the business, because it is. everybody else is charging you more. And so that's why you have to look at this at least on an annual basis, because you need to stay ahead of your expense increases. So one of the eye-opening things that you can do is just to run a report and compare your expenses from this year to last year to the previous year, and just look at the percentage change in your business expenses across different categories, because you'll see these price increases happening. And so when you can just look and see, okay, our prices have increased across the board, our expenses have increased across the board in the business in the last year, maybe it's 20%. You got to pay attention to that. So I also don't want to tell you, okay, so if your expenses increase 20%, you should raise your prices 25% to stay ahead of all these increases. No. If you're a good profit first business owner, you're going in, and if you're in our program, we're going to be analyzing your expenses with you and making sure that your expenses are very streamlined. So if you know your expenses are very streamlined in the business and you see that expenses have gone up 20%, then that's just the cost of doing business that's happened to you. And so you need to be looking at, okay, we do have to raise our prices considerably. And do we have that sweet spot? Do we know what our unique value is? Can we articulate the things that we've added in the last year to better serve the improvements and the things that we've done to better serve our top clients and customers this past year? And can I articulate that? Can my sales team articulate that? That's the other piece, is you have to train your sales team members to be able to articulate this value too. And they need to buy in to price increases. One of the worst things is to increase your prices and then have sales team members who don't buy into that. And so they go to your clients and customers and they say, I'm so sorry, we've had a price increase. And it's just coming from that position of being behind the 8 ball from the get-go. So it's very important that as you are raising your prices, you're having conversations with your team so they understand where the price increase is coming from and why, and they can articulate the price increase with confidence and the value proposition with confidence to your clients and customers. As you're considering a price increase, it's not just about, well, how much have expenses gone up in the last year or two since I did a price increase? You also need to be looking ahead, right? And thinking about the year ahead and what's coming down the pipeline in the business that you're going to need to be prepared to pay for. So if you're planning for growth, you're planning to hire A-player team members. You are going to need equipment and software platforms for those A-player team members. You're going to need to develop your existing team. Your existing team needs raises. All of that needs to be factored in. Team training, development, benefits that you've wanted to provide but haven't been able to provide, and you need to provide so that you can retain those A players. That is all factored in to a price increase. So the worst thing you can do when you do a price increase is to do just a small bump and then realize, oh, I didn't do enough of a price increase. And now it's 3 or 4 months later, and now we've got to do another one. That just becomes very uncomfortable. So make sure that your price increase is appropriate and it covers the growth that you're planning for in the year ahead. So that means you've got to sit down and figure that out before you do the price increase. And then you can look at, okay, if we were just to increase prices based on our planned growth and retention of team members and our expenses, what would that increase be? And that might be a lot, right? And so then you have to look at, well, can we provide a 3-to-1 return on our investment for our clients and customers when we increase to that level? And if your answer to that is yes, you're solid, right? You just articulate what that 3-to-1 is and train your team in that. And then you go forward with rolling out your price increases. So I think one of the things that you need to bring in as you are articulating the price increase to your clients and customers is talking about the value that you place on creating a great place to work, hiring A players and making sure that you have A players on your team to serve your top clients and customers. They appreciate that. And that is part of making this, as a small business owner, a lot more personal, right? Because now we're talking about the people in the business, and now we're talking about your passion for why you do what you do and the value that's getting created for your clients and customers by you having those A players on your team. I remember a client that I worked with probably about 10 years ago now, and he had a home service business, and he was using a lot of college students who needed flexibility in their schedules to attend classes. And he was able to offer that flexibility in the type of work that was being done in his business. And the challenge he was having is raising prices because he was having a harder and harder time retaining his team members because they were getting offers to go work for higher wages elsewhere, and they were needing to pay for their schooling, their books and classes, all of that. And so when he did a price increase, he communicated to his customers who his team members are. He used bios of his team members, and he said, this is so-and-so, and they're majoring in XYZ, and this is their community involvement. These are the things they're doing, and they get to work with us to support their college education. And it's very important to me that I pay them a decent wage to support their educational endeavors. That wasn't the whole package, but that was part of his package that he was using as he conveyed the new pricing that was rolling out. And he also conveyed, here's some additional services that we're going to be offering that will make your life easier. And that was how he laid that out for his clients and customers. He lost very few clients and customers in that process. And then within 2 months, his budget had really expanded, and he was able to increase the pay for his team members, which made it easier for him to retain team members. And that's where your profit really starts to grow, is where you're retaining your A players, because that hidden cost of turnover in the business drives your profit down considerably. And so as you do an appropriate price increase, if you set it all up, you tee it up effectively, not only are you going to have just an immediate increase in your margins because you've done that, but you're also setting yourself up for longer term success with your profit, because you're going to be able to hire and retain those A players in the business. So in today's episode, we covered a lot. We covered how to deliver a price increase. We covered when you should do it, when you shouldn't do it. We talked about the factors to consider when you're doing a price increase. I told you don't do a 2 to 3% price increase. That's not going to be significant enough for you to cover what you need to cover as the business grows in the year ahead. We talked about how frequently you should do it, at least once a year, right? So, and I gave you the language, and I gave you some ideas for things you can say as you are delivering the price increase. But the best language is always going to come from what you are hearing your top clients and customers say about what they value most in what you're delivering for them. So remember that is key. So if you want to deep dive further with us on understanding your sweet spot and how to niche down and how to use your sweet spot in your business to drive the profitability of the business and grow the business in 2024 without you working more, you definitely want to be signed up for our Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart that's happening early January. So go to tapthepotential.com/jumpstart and get signed up. Just imagine when you come to the Jumpstart, some of the results that are going to happen just from you being with us and doing this focus on your business for 5 days. You're going to see how to gain 10 hours of your week back. You're going to see how you could have an additional $50,000 that you could pay yourself this year. And you're also going to see the path to being able to take an extra week of vacation. So we have 5 days in the Jumpstart. You come and you attend with us for an hour each day. And we have these different topics where I'm walking you through step by step of the Tap the Potential solution. So day 1, clinic 1 is design your business to be sustainably profitable. Day 2 is the path to profit, simplifying your business, because complexity is the enemy of profit. And that's all about the sweet spot. It's about identifying your unique value. Day 3 is where we spend an entire day in the clinic talking about how to innovate and stand out. And this ties into everything we've been talking about on this episode, how to identify your unique value proposition. And then on day 4, we talk about building your lean and mighty team by hiring the best. And day 5 is all about taking your life back. And that's identifying your $10,000 an hour activities in the business, the ones that move you forward, that are going to bring you the greatest results. So if you've been thinking about joining our Better Business, Better Life coaching program, and you're really curious, like, what is that experience like? What is it like to work with a Tap the Potential team? Consider the Jumpstart like an open house, because you get to come in for an hour a day, 5 days in the week, and work directly with me and other members of our Tap the Potential team. And you get to experience what it's like to learn strategy and apply it. You get to ask me questions about, well, how does this apply in my business, Dr. Sabrina? And okay, I heard you say this, but my business is a little bit different. The Jumpstart is the best place for those conversations to happen. And the other cool thing that happens in the Jumpstart is you get input from other business owners, and you'll get ideas. A great idea generation starts to happen in these Jumpstarts. So make sure you're signed up at tapthepotential.com/jumpstart. And make sure you are subscribed to the Profit by Design podcast, because we don't want you to miss an episode. So whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, be sure to subscribe over there. Bye for now.
Thank you for spending time with me today. Join me in our Tap the Potential Mighty Networks community at tapthepotential.com/group. Share your aha moments from today's episode, ask me questions, and join in on the fun with your fellow entrepreneurs on the journey to designing sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. Isn't it time you take your life back? And finally, share today's episode with a friend if you know a friend who would enjoy it. This is real life business. Keep your chin up, keep moving forward. You got this.